Hi, welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you've been here before. Love seeing you here. I never know what to say at the beginning. Today we're doing a six month wrap up, halfway wrap up, just to see how we're doing and how much we've read, and to look at all the books that we've read so far and see how they're holding up. So yeah. So I would say I'm more of a casual reader than a hardcore reader. I do want to be a hardcore reader, I just do not have the time to be a hardcore reader. Like, I'd be reading all the time if I could. The last time I filmed, also, if you see me glistening, it's sweat because it's so hot up here, and I have a fan. I just don't want to turn it on because I feel like the sound is gonna be affected, so I'm just sweating it out. So I would call myself more of a casual reader. I do try to read as much as I can, but I'm not reading like all the time. And listen, you know, like those monthly like wrap-ups that people do? I couldn't do that because I read like 1-2 books max. And honestly, all of the videos that I'm about to show you, I have like a stack next to me. You can find them all on my channel if you want like an in-depth, like kind of like review. Most of them are spoiler reviews. I'm gonna be done talking and let's just get into all of the books I read. So this is gonna be more of a non-spoiler review, mostly because all of the videos I have on my channel right now are mostly spoiler. Half of my Emily Henry video is non-spoiler, mostly because Funny Story just came out. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep this very minimal. I'm gonna tell you my rating and kind of like why I thought that, but nothing in depth plot wise. And if I do that, I'll let you know first. So I read the last 2 books in the Summer I Turned Pretty series, It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer. I rated It's Not Summer Without You a 3.3 out of 5 star and We'll Always Have Summer a 3 out of 5 star, but I rounded up, so it would have been a 2.8. I found We'll Always Have Summer to be predictable, and it just took a turn. It wasn't going in the direction that I originally thought, and I think because my mindset was in a different space, that kind of interfered with what I expected of this book. But it was okay. I still liked The Summer I Turned Pretty more though. So this was a 3.3 out of 5 star. We'll Always Have Summer though annoyed me to no end. Like, the decisions that these characters were making, the way they were communicating, it was just, I didn't like it. Yeah, a portion of this book though was boring to me. I just wanted to finish the series, frankly, and I pushed through and I did it. But honestly, if I could be a counselor for these characters in this book, I would have done so because it was annoying to me personally. But yeah, honestly, it goes first, second, third book in terms of ranking wise, so basically the way it goes. But yeah, I wanted to finish the series, so I did, so that's great. So after The Summer I Turned Pretty, I read Fourth Wing. Everyone was reading this book when it came out, and I am a mood reader, and at the time I wasn't in the headspace to read this, even though I really wanted to. But the time like escaped me, and like earlier this year, I really felt like reading it, so I picked it up. There are dragons. It's a whole situation. People were calling it like Hunger Games times, I don't really know what else, but there are dragons in it. Sorry, I have to sit down like this. I have been sitting on my knees for a very long time and it really hurts. I'm gonna bring you down to my level. Okay. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I've been sitting here for a long time trying to get this right. Violet is our main character. She's meant to enter the scribe quadrant, and her mother, the general, wants her to go into the writer's quadrant like she did and like her sister did. The thing is that Violet is more into being a scribe, like history books and all this stuff, so she doesn't have like the physicality to ride a dragon. The thing is that the way I compared it was, this reminded me of Divergent. So there are like 4 factions, and obviously you fight to get the higher spot, you know. So everyone in the writer's quadrant is fighting each other for a chance to be able to ride a dragon. So that's kind of what this book focuses on, like her journey like through it, and then seeing if she can get a dragon, and the way things progress into like the second book, which I haven't read yet. This book took me about 70 pages to get into it, and at first I didn't think it was going to be for me because, I don't know, I don't think it really ever took me 70 pages to get into a book, but It took me 70 pages, but after that I was really into it and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.2 out of 5 stars, and I was actually really invested in the story and I liked it. I loved the dragons and everything, and like everything. It was a good one. Would recommend. Haven't read Iron Flame though, so we'll see how that goes later and how things progress. Then I read Yellowface. Yellowface, I was so excited for this book. When I heard about like what it was about, I was so interested in the story. So this is about June Hayward. She's an author who's friends with Athena. They're both authors. Athena is more successful than June is, even though they went to the same school and they're the same age. So there's kind of like a difference in status. Athena's super famous. She gets great book deals and everybody loves her books, while June has published, I think, one book and it didn't do very well. It's just a different status level. So they're friends. June is outwardly, in her head at least, the way that we read it, jealous of Athena. So Athena thinks they're friends. They go out one day, spend some time together, they hang out, and Athena chokes on a pancake and she dies. And June is there. She witnesses everything. And before she leaves the apartment, after she calls the police and the paramedics come, she takes Athena's unfinished manuscript. So this book is about June stealing this unfinished manuscript, editing it up, and trying to keep the secret that she stole it from another author. That premise was crazy to me. I was like, how is she gonna like literally go, like, imagine if you did that. Like, I would be freaking out if I did that. Like, are you joking? I'd be freaking out. I love character-driven books, and that's exactly what this was, I feel like. Because, you know, June is our narrator. She's unreliable. You can't trust, like, what she's saying. Like, it's like a character thing, and I love character-driven books. I love them so much. So I found this really interesting. The end for me did fall off a little bit, but that's fine because honestly I really enjoyed this book, and I ended up giving it a 4.4 out of 5 stars, which honestly I would recommend this book. If you get the chance to read it, definitely do so because it was really good. So the reason why I'm so on track for my Goodreads goal, I'm like 1 book ahead right now, which is really stressing me out because before I was like 3 books ahead. Well, the reason for that is because I read the entire Heartstopper series, and I read it in 24 hours. But I heard everyone talking so much about them, so I thought I'd pick them up. I'll never shut up about the way this can look on a bookshelf. Look how pretty that is. But I read all 5 of them, and I rated all 5 of them 3 out of 5 stars. This is a YA book series, and it felt YA to me, mostly because the topics that they cover I already knew about. I didn't need them explained to me, and that makes sense because I'm not the YA like age range. But overall, I thought it was a really cute story, and I would recommend if you want to check it out. But like, don't expect, I would say, anything revolutionary, especially if you're not the YA age range. But I just thought it was really cute. The relationship between these two is adorable. I feel like I wanted it to go deeper though. Like, everything I feel like was surface level when they dive into the topics. YA again. But that's just kind of how I felt about it. But they're cute. Check them out. After I read the Heartstopper series, I read People We Made on Vacation. This was my first Emily Henry book, and I heard good things about it. At the time, I was between reading Beach Read and People We Made on Vacation, and I just picked this one out just because. So all of the Emily Henry books, as I know them, are romance. I feel like I said this in every video, so I'm going to stop eventually, but I don't read romance. I wanted to get into it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because when I look back, I'm always like, I'm not a romance girl. I'm not, like, shut up. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So I read People We Meet on Vacation. When it comes to romance, I'm more of a slow burn person. I love it. Like, enemies to lovers, great. Slow burn, fabulous. I love slow burn. But this book was friends to lovers, and I felt that it went averagely I guess. It took me a while to get through, and by that I mean I wasn't excited to read it. Like, when I'm really into a book, I'll pick it up, I'll go through that, I'll plow through that so fast. And when it came to reading this, I was stretching it out. Like, I was on my phone, I was procrastinating as much as I could just so like I wouldn't read it. It was okay, just that something about this romance was so predictable. I predicted just about everything that happened in this book. There was no element of surprise. I knew how things were gonna go, I knew the conflict, I knew the end, I knew what was gonna happen. And if it was executed better, like if I had guessed that but it was executed in a really good way, I wouldn't have minded, yeah, I wouldn't have minded as much as when it happened. Like, I don't really think I connected with the characters, and I just found it overly cheesy to the point where I didn't like it as much. But overall, it was like okay. It was an average book. I gave it a 3.2 out of 5 stars. And that's just where I'm gonna leave this. By the way, wait, go back. They're 2 best friends. They used to be very close, and then something happens that we don't know about, and they've stopped talking completely until one day Poppy reaches out to Alex and she asks him to like come on vacation with her as they used to, because before when they were friends they used to go on vacations every summer together. So she's trying to like get back to being friends with him and get their relationship going away the way it used to be as BFFs. So yeah, that's my little summary about people we meet on vacation. Yeah. Then we have my only 5-star book of the 6-month range. This was the second book that I read for my Emily Henry video. Funny story had just come out that week and I picked it up and I devoured this book. When I say, like, the way I was comparing People We Meet on Vacation, like, I was taking so long to read this book, I was so excited to read this book. So excited. It got me hooked pretty, like, super early on. I was so into the premise. So this is about Daphne and Miles. Daphne is engaged to Peter. They're about to get married. He goes to his bachelor party and his girl best friend is there, and she, Petra, tells him that she's been in love with him forever, I guess. And he was like, wow, I'm in love with you too. Like, wow. So the next day he comes home to Daphne and he's like, sorry, I'm breaking up with you. And she's like, what? He was like, yeah, like, Petra told me she was in love with me. Like, I figured, like, I'm in love with her too. And I'm gonna be with her. Like, we're going on a trip. So you can, like, move out. Kicks her out of his house. They were living together, but it's his house, technically, so he kicked her out. Can you believe that? So as he leaves with Petra to go on his vacation. Petra's ex-boyfriend comes over looking for Peter. Like, he's gonna fight him. And Daphne was like, he's not here, they left. And he was like, damn. And she was like, do you need a roommate? Because she has nowhere to stay. Like, she's moved and picked up her life to move to the state for Peter. So she has basically no friends. Her friends were Peter's friends. Like, she's like completely alone and she has nowhere to go. So she moves in with Petra's ex-boyfriend. Okay, and then I'm telling you like the premise. I swear this is like in the first few pages, but okay, I don't want to tell you too much. But basically it's fake dating and close proximity, slow burn to the purest extent. And I love that so much. But this book gave me everything that People on Vacation did not. It gave me character development. It gave me slow burn, a good romance, and good backstory. And I understand the motives of each character and why they make the decisions that they do. I loved it. It was chef's kiss. Mwah. Like, I am a defender of this book. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anyone say anything about this book. But if someone says something about this book, I will defend it forever. Because honestly, it was really good. It was really good. I gave it 5 stars. I was so excited for this book. Like, when I was reading it, I was like, I was plowing through this. I really was. I read 162 pages in one day. And I haven't done that in a really long time. So that was fantastic. It was great. I love this. Would recommend. If you're gonna take anything out of this, I think it would be Yellowface and funny story. So yeah, 5 stars. Then I read Caraval. Caraval is about, it follows Scarlet. Her sister gets kidnapped by the leader of the Caraval situation. Caraval is kind of like an event that happens surrounding magic, and there's always like a mystery or something that you have to do, so you're competing against contestants to get the gift of a wish. So Legend is the guy who runs this, and Legend has the ability of like controlling magic and giving away wishes if you complete Caraval's task. So I guess her sister isn't kidnapped, more like she goes missing. Not kidnapped, okay? Goes missing. Yeah, that's just the premise. She goes missing and Scarlet has to find her sister by the end of the game to get her wish. That is the like blatant like plot line in simplest terms. Her sister goes missing. She has to find her by the end of Caraval, which is 5 days, to get her wish. The way everybody was talking about this online was very good. So I expected, I guess, a lot from this book, and it didn't deliver in the slightest. It was just okay. I feel like it needed more character development to make me feel emotionally attached to characters, and the magic system that everybody was talking so highly about, I felt needed to be developed, and I actually was interested in it. I just wanted to see more of it, because the way people were talking about this book was that there was like so much magic, and there was magic here and there, but there wasn't like a lot, and I wanted to see more of it. It was overall okay. The end piqued my interest, but the fact that I haven't read my book and I've been done with like my scrapbook for like a week, almost a week now, I don't know how that bodes for that. So yeah, I rated this a 2.8 out of 5 stars. Overall, so far, I was gonna pick up all my books, but that's like a chunky quantity. I've read 12 books, which as a casual reader, I think that's okay. Yeah, I was hoping to read more. I'm kind of disappointed, but like at the same time last year, I think I read only 15 books if I remember. So I'm doing pretty well in comparison to my 2023 wrap up. I think I read 15 books, so I only need 3 more to complete that, which I will definitely do this year. My reading goal on Goodreads right now is 25, I think. Originally it was 20, but I'm shooting for the stars. So now it's 25. And if by like November, if I don't think I'm gonna hit it, then I'll probably lower it. But yeah, those are all of the books that I read so far. We're on a good path. I'm 1 book ahead of schedule, according to my Goodreads. So that's great. Oh yeah, 2023 year in books, 15. So we're doing good in comparison to that. Hoping to finish up Legendary and Finale. I was contemplating starting another book instead, but I promised you as well as myself to finish Legendary and Finale right after Caraval, because if not, I don't think I would pick it up again. So I think I'm gonna push through and do that. I had a book haul a little like 2 weeks ago that I did, and I'm very excited to read some of these books, so I really kind of want to finish up with those and get to the new books that I got. That kind of finishes off my halfway wrap up for today. I will probably, I don't know actually. I was thinking, I was like, do I do another 6-month wrap up at the end of the year, or should it be like total, but it'd be like kind of repetitive, you know? So that wraps up my 6-month wrap up. If you want to know more about these books, I have a spoiler video basically on all of these except Funny Story. They're all up on the channel, you can check those out. And hopefully I'll be back soon with another like reading vlog / review sometime soon when I finish those 2 books. Who knows when I'll get to that. Yeah, so thanks for checking out the channel and the video, and I'll see you again sometime soon. Thanks, bye.